Hi, I am Duncan.
Yes, we can, sure we can change the world.
Welcome to the YALI Voices podcast, your home for sharing the best stories from the Young African Leaders Initiative Network. Be sure to subscribe to the YALI Voices podcast and visit yali.state.gov to stay up to date on all things YALI. Duncan has over 12 years' experience in the human resources development field and is the founder of Corporate Training Solutions, where she helps organizations meet their performance targets through employee learning and development activities. She is also the founder of the Fabulous Woman Network, where she brings women together to share experiences, learn, and collaborate. Grew up in Komenda, Ghana, which she describes as a little village by the beach. The daughter of a farmer and nurse, as a child she thought she wanted to be a lawyer. But after graduating from university, marrying, and starting a family, she found herself working for a hotel where she started as a company trainer and found her calling as a learning and development manager. In this YALI Voices podcast, shares techniques for creating a positive, fair, and efficient work environment and how the Fabulous Woman Network is empowering young women across the continent to be their best selves.
Well, first of all, my parents were educated, and there was no question about whether or not I would go to school, even though it was a village and some other people were not. I mean, it wasn't a typical village, but it wasn't a city. It was automatic that I had to go to school. There was no question about it. I have two brothers and myself, and it was always school. And school was actually the only place I excelled. I didn't really do good sports. I tried, but I wasn't the best. I am not creative like my brothers. Reading and passing exams, it's the only thing I knew, really. So growing up with two brothers, my mom, at a point it was just my mom as a single mom with us. She did a great job of making us know that we were all the same. We were all treated equally. I never ever understood this whole thing about women empowerment and all that. I didn't get it. To me, we were all empowered. I competed head to head with boys in school all the time. In my house, both the boys and girls cook. The boys were lazy, but we all had house chores and all, we could all do stuff. There was nothing like discrimination. It wasn't until I started work that I actually realized that there was actually discrimination against women. I never knew it as a child. I had good education from the University of Ghana. I also, while I was in the UK, I did what they call NVQ, National Vocational Qualification in Customer Service. And because I had been there, I did a lot of different training programs, which automatically prepared me. To be honest, I didn't even know I was being prepared for anything. I just knew I loved attending different trainings, and we used to go to different cities and get trained and all that. At Norwich Union, they spent 6 weeks just on orientation for us. So all those little experiences sort of gelled together somehow. Yeah, for me. I forgot to say, I actually had my master's, my MBA in human resources management. So that was the only human resources education I had. So a corporate trainer means I conduct trainings for different organizations. Some of the customers I have or clients include Guinness, Ghana Limited. I have worked for Total Petroleum. I did team building sessions for them. I have worked for Olam Ghana, which is the cocoa company. So basically, I sit with the management when they call me that, we need training for this group or something. I would sit with them to figure out the training needs that they have. We do what we call training needs assessment. Sometimes we go in as spies. What we call mystery shopping. So we go around to see how people actually act so that we can identify the gaps that they have. We do interviews with them, just ask them, what do you think you need to, improve your performance and all that. So based on the feedback we get, we design training programs. And it's not every time that training is what they need, really. Sometimes it's counseling, sometimes it's just a pay issue or management issue. Yeah. So then we go in, we conduct trainings, and our trainings are very lively. My partner in training, she's called Rita. She's been doing this job for over 24 years. So we have a lot of fun in training. I love training. It's the best thing on earth, just to be in front of people talking. I talk for a living, so I'm always just talking. So usually when a company asks for our services to come and train their employees, I'll talk about one of the biggest challenges that I see across board. It's usually management-staff relationship. A lot of the times the managers will call you, my staff need training, they are terrible here, customer service, blah, blah, blah. But you actually do the training needs assessment and you realize that it is not that they don't know what to do. They know what to do, but they are upset about something, usually someone in management, how they feel that they're being treated unfairly. So even though they know everything and right in front of the manager, they will do the right thing the minute he leaves. And sometimes employees actually do this to sabotage their managers. So, and it's interesting, normally in trainings, after we are done, we try to get the managers to be part of it. But managers, oh, I'm busy, or they will pop in and, go. And then all the employees are like, please, Amma, can you have this training for our managers too? I get that request a lot. And I'm like, oh, yes, we just had it with them, or I have to, but really, if we can get the managers to really understand their employees and pay attention to them. It doesn't, you see organizations with amazing buildings and facilities, but they are not taking care of the staff. And they feel that they are not, the reason they are not performing is because they are not being trained. It's really, sometimes it's not about the training, it's how they're being treated. So in terms of how employees are being treated, one of the common reasons or common, do we say maltreatment? Yes, that we encounter is the manager is rude, doesn't know how to communicate to me and show me respect. And other issues include low wages. I feel I deserve better than what I am getting. I feel I'm putting in so much effort, but I'm not getting enough money, And then sometimes the managers and their employees just don't gel. Managers don't take time to know their employees, and people have issues at home. People are, taking care of 8 children plus the sick mother and all that. And it's like, my manager doesn't care. All they want is for me to deliver that target. And they are demanding without asking me, am I okay? So that really peeves employees a lot. So we use a lot of different interventions when we are trying to deal with the issue of people feeling peeved and all. We try to be very positive, asking them to look at the positive side of things. And we do, for instance, we group people, we give them groups and ask them to come up with solutions that they themselves can use to alleviate those problems. And we specifically say, please don't tell me about my manager should do this and that. You yourself as an employee, you have this challenge. How do you, handle it? And after that, we compile all these reports and then we sit with the managers down and we tell them, okay, so this and that, speaking from a very objective point of view, this is what we have seen. And if you really want this result, this is what we are recommending that you should do. Being a corporate trainer, I think, is the best thing that could ever happen to me. First of all, I love to talk. And then I get to see different people in different companies and talk about their issues and try to help them. Even sometimes during the process, I get to help myself as well, because I also have my own challenges, obviously. So I'm in the best place when I'm in a training room or preparing to do training. And I do a lot of training for women as well because of the Fabulous Woman Network. And that is even more amazing because, women, we just love to talk and share ideas. And, people think it's gossip. It's not really gossip. We are sharing ideas and learning from each other. So I love it totally. So, the Fabulous Woman Network is a social enterprise with the aim of celebrating, developing, and inspiring women to shine. We do this by conducting activities that bring women together to share experiences, to learn, to network, and then collaborate. It all started on social media when I posted, an article about my mom celebrating her. And then I celebrated some friends, and now I just run after women and celebrate them. I interview them, share their stories, on social media. We have currently about over 31,000 followers. And we leveraged on that, the following, to conduct all these activities. So we've had conferences, we've had trainings for women, we've had networking, talk shows and all that. Earlier in the interview, I mentioned how growing up as a child, I never really saw any discrimination because we were all treated the same. When I started working, there were all these jokes and comments about women. All we care about is Brazilian hair and high heel shoes and asking men for money. And I was really upset about that because I am a woman in the midst of a lot of other women who don't just go about asking for money, who work very hard. Some are single mothers taking care of 8 children. Some are, building businesses. Some taking their kids to the best schools and all that. Why are we not seeing that? Why are we always talking as if women, all they do is ask, ask, ask? We give, give, give. So I decided that, what? If no one is going to celebrate us, as at least I didn't see it somewhere. So I was like, okay, I am going to start celebrating women by myself. So I started with my mother. I wrote about her. This woman at a point from the age of 12 or so, she was a single mother. I have seen her go through difficulties, losing her job, where we lived, and you should see her so composed, as if everything is just fine, I admired her strength. So I just did a story about her. I titled it, "I See in You the Fabulous Woman. Your Strength Inspires Me." And I just wrote it and posted it. And then I wrote about my friends, Taline, Nadia. They are amazing. They're all different. It's crazy. They're all very different, but there's something so fabulous about every one of them, even though they are different. So I just wanted to celebrate the good part of all these women. It doesn't matter if they have negatives too. I do too. Nobody is perfect, but it doesn't mean we should not be celebrated. I just wanted a way to champion the women. I didn't want to be discriminatory against men or anything. I just felt that we needed to celebrate women. We were not doing that enough. So how I started my business, like I mentioned, I started by writing, and it became a network. And out of that, I registered it because I realized that there was actually a need. Women in my community wanted to get together and learn. So the business came out of that need to consistently help women. For now, we focus on the professional and entrepreneurial development, but I have a feeling we are going to grow into a bigger organization and do some more. Maybe not even only for women. We might end up doing, my daughter, who is 8 years old, has already had her first event for the Fabulous Child. So you never know. We market what we do primarily through social media. Like I said, we have over 31,000 followers on Facebook alone. But I also go on radio almost every week. So that's another avenue. And then I write for some of the newspapers, national newspapers. I write for online blogs, the very big ones in my country as well. So through these avenues, I'm able to also talk about the things we are about to, and I do a lot of public speaking, especially for women. Some organizations, for instance, International Women's Day, they would invite me to come and talk on this and that, and I would mention, and then we have an email list as well that we email to. we use a lot of different means to get what we want. Even on TV, I do speak on TV occasionally as well. So we use all that avenue.
We asked Amma to speak about the conflicts around gender, discrimination, and opportunity that she sees within companies and her advice to women in the workplace.
When I go into different companies to do training with regards to even the balance in terms of gender, we see that there are a lot of women down, customer service, maybe middle management, some few, but as it goes up, it thins out. Like, for instance, where I used to work, it was just 2 or 3 women in management against about 20 men. It's like I see that a lot. Hardly do you see even equal, say 50 to 50 men and women in management. Perhaps there are some, but I'm yet to see it. And women in a lot of organizations, it's very automatic. Like when I go and run events, you see things like setting the table and serving coffee and tea and stuff. Automatically, you see the women handling that. You see the men sitting down, being served, asking to be served. And the women, well, I'm not criticizing because naturally where I come from, for instance, I'm a mother and I would naturally be the one to want to feed and, but we take it to the workplace and we get so stressed doing all these other things. We are working for other people, typing for other people when our own work is there. And I see this a lot. Me, myself, I do it. It's a natural thing. I don't know whether we were taught to do it. Somebody told us this is your responsibility, but I feel that the more we focus on being over helpful to other people, the less of our own work we do. And then in the end, we are not performing. Nobody is going to judge you based on how you helped somebody accomplish their own job. It is yours. You're going to be graded based on what you did as per your target and not somebody else's. So it's something that if we women could consciously look at how we spend all our time helping others and not ourselves, So to women in the workplaces, professional women trying to break the proverbial glass ceiling, I will say to you, first of all, you are not alone. We are all trying to do this, so we are all in this together. Number 1, let's support each other. We are not against each other. The fact that 2 women want the same thing does not even mean they are competing necessarily. Yes, it will go to one person, but it's not the end of your life. There is another opportunity coming. So please take care of your own targets. Take care of your own self before doing it for other people. Now, I know it's easier said than done. I'm a woman too, I understand. But we need to be intentional about the things we do. We need to stay focused on what it is that we want and go for it. Nobody will get it for us. We have to push ourselves to go for it.
As our conversation concludes, Amma talks about the power of networks, her tips for networking, the importance of women being their own advocates, and why men should value the contributions of women.
So what I would like to say to the YALI network, first of all, YALI network is an amazing network. I actually got to know of it through a friend called Yawa. She told me, you should join YALI. It will be good for you. And it's been amazing. I joined it a little over a year ago and my life has changed already. And it's just through the power of networking. We take for granted what your network can do, but information flows through network. So yes, definitely, let's connect on social media. That's where a lot of things start these days. Let's connect, let's talk. And one of the benefits of being in a place like YALI Network is I think we have over 400,000 group members on Facebook alone. Imagine that you post something you're doing. At least 20,000 people will see. And that's amazing. It can take you places, I'm telling you. So let's take advantage of this network. Let's connect. We don't have to travel across to start the connection. Let's start through the social media network. Let's organize events together. A lot of us are passionate about similar things. We have, YALI serves and all these different activities that YALI is organizing for us. Let's take advantage of that and then connect. There is power in numbers. Let's take advantage of that. There's networking. I actually teach it as a course because it's a powerful tool. It is not about what you know. It is who knows you. It's not even who you know, but who knows you and can say, oh, I know this person who can do that. Tips for forming a professional network. Start from your immediate network of friends, family. For instance, if you're a lawyer, you know another person who is a lawyer. That is already one network. Connect to the third person and the fourth. That's how it grows. Don't wait till you find 1,000 people. Start with 2, 3, 4, and then grow it from there. Yeah. What I have to say to women who are afraid to advocate for themselves is, first of all, a lot of us are all afraid of advocating for ourselves, especially women. I don't know about men. So it's okay to be afraid, but don't let it show. My theme for this year is just do it. What you are so afraid of, that is exactly what you should do. And take it from me. Your breakthrough is at that place, right behind your fear. Is that thing that you've been waiting all your life for. So just do it. You are afraid. I'm also afraid. It happens all the time. We are always nervous. We always think we are not good enough and all these things. It's just in your head. Do it anyway. As the person who created the Fabulous Woman Network, who has also had some experience in the corporate field, here's what I have to say to men. Women have a lot of buried treasures and potentials that can be used. Don't only focus on what it is that you've seen. For instance, they are good at typing or answering the phone or making coffee or doing whatever. There's so much more that we can do in the workplace. Push the women. Give them more challenging roles and you'll be amazed. Even when pregnant 9 months, you'll be amazed the results that women can deliver. As a married woman with 2 children, also trying to be a woman, I have to confess that I sometimes feel miserably. I can never do all at the same time. I can either be a very good mother 1 minute, the next minute I am a very good entrepreneur, the next minute I'm a great wife, but doing it all at a go is just crazy. And I have read enough to realize that I can't have it all. It's okay to make mistakes. I have made my share of mistakes. I still make them, really. But we still keep pressing on, one at a time, one day at a time.
Thank you, Amma, for sharing your story and all of the great advice. If you'd like to know more about Amma and the Fabulous Woman Network, visit www.ammaduncan.com. That's www.amaduncan.com. Be sure to come back for more inspiring stories from young African leaders on the YALI Voices podcast. Join the YALI network at yali.state.gov and be a part of something bigger. Our theme music is Ego Happen by Grace Jerry and produced by the Presidential Precinct. The YALI Voices podcast is brought to you by the U.S. Department of State and is part of the Young African Leaders Initiative, which is funded by the U.S. government.